That's just us talking about the collective, talking about taking ownership for what we can, and talking about how we move forward as a team so we continue to find ways to win games. It's really just teammates being teammates.
What was your takeaway conclusion of the meeting?
I don't want to make this about that, right? We got a short week. We got a division opponent coming in here. I enjoyed every second of it.
The 4-1, the defending Super Bowl champs, and their three highest paid or not best known stars are having a team meeting on Monday of a short week. Jeff, what does that say?
Mountain out of a molehill, y'all. We're gonna make this thing all kinds of crazy. Let these men work this thing out. You got a brand new offensive coordinator. To lose point, offensive line is different. They haven't played nearly as well as they did last season. Everybody thinks they should scrap their offense, change their offense, do this. Only the problem is they've lost one game since, in 22 games. It's insanity how good this team has been, and you want to just crush it, change it, do whatever. Hopefully they got in a room where, like, men, we got Stoutland, who's one of the best offensive line coaches in the history of our game. He'll get it fixed. Saquon's a beast. He'll get it fixed. I trust A.J. Brown. I trust Smith. I trust Hurts. We will figure this out. Slow it down. Don't let the world infiltrate our world, and let's work together.
That's fair. Now, I will point out, Jeff and Nick put together a tape that we're going to show you a little later in the show of just why some of the things aren't working. But I can give you numbers. Cindy, let's go 21 and 22 back to back. The Eagles have 40 negative plays this season. 40. That is the most of any team in the National Football League. That's not people making it up. That's actually happened. And so has this. Saquon Barkley, in the second halves of games this season, is averaging 25 yards rushing. He was almost 78 yards rushing last year. Those are stark differences, Dominique, and the winning at some point depends on that.
And they lead the league in 3 and outs. So, I understand that the only thing that really matters is whether you win or lose. But you have to have a big picture view on this. And I understand Jeff said you don't want to make a mountain out of the molehill. This is a championship caliber team. Those stats are not commiserate with a championship caliber team. So they need to get on the same page. I think the meeting is a good idea. I understand that we don't think that meetings necessarily do anything, but getting on the same page means this one thing is the thing we need to do better. Not, I want this, I want that, you do this, you do that. We come, we talk, we fight, we yell, we sit down, we cry, whatever we got to do. Understand that next week, we're going to do this really well. Then we'll build on that. Just getting on the same page, I think is the most important thing.
They haven't played a complete game in 4 weeks, and that's the truth. They were slow out of the gates against the Rams, then they were terrible in the second half in the last 2 weeks against both the Buccaneers and the Broncos. And what's worrisome for me is that this isn't a team that's riddled with injuries. Yes, we have the offensive line guys are down, but you have your star players there. And when you look at the LA Chargers, they've lost everybody and they're trying to fight on. The 49ers, they've lost all these injuries, and that's when you start wondering who's going to step up. You're looking around, guys, less than 6 months ago, we won a Super Bowl together. So what's happening? And I would just add, that city, it's a different pressure cooker. They fired a defensive coordinator 2 years ago when they were 10-1. All this, it's a little different. The volume and the pressure is a little higher. And Lewis, in Philly, it's a little different with that media market as well.
Yeah, the thing that concerns me is when the news of this kind of meeting gets out, how does that get out in the first place? If I want to talk to some of my teammates, I should be able to do that, and we never even know.
Right.
Okay, because it's that important. These guys understand what it takes. They understand what championship performance looks like. And if we want to talk about that, we should be able to talk about that every day if we want to talk about it. We should have a meeting whenever we want to. I just don't like the fact that it kind of gets played out in the public domain, because that's when things start to fracture. Because that's when we talk about it, people look on TV and they're going, hey, is someone talking behind my back? Is someone kind of letting things leak out? That's when things can start to fracture. I hope as a collective, this group can kind of keep things together and keep things trending the right way. They don't have that one signature alpha that you talked about in the meeting that can kind of say, hey, look, everyone just shut up. This is how it's going to be. You don't really seem to have that one guy, but collectively they are arguably the most talented team in the NFL still.
To the point that Nick made earlier, last year, remember when they had the slow start and there was all this noise around them and everything else, and they had a bye and they had a summit. They literally called it a summit with Sirianni and Hurts. That was when this winning began. So sitting down and talking things through, at least in that team, in that situation, has worked in the past.
Yeah. No, and listen, there are reasons why they're struggling, and you showed them, right? Like, there are things that are different. But there are reasons from a player. Like Landon Dickerson, the offensive lineman, the left guard, he's been banged up. I thought they were going to lose him for the season. He's not the same guy, right? Lane Johnson's been banged up. You look at Stein, the replacement of Beck. There's a lot of things. Juergens isn't playing great, right? They're and teams are doing a little bit different things to them. When you average 4 yards before getting touched as a running back, your numbers are going to be insane, right? So, like, when you're trying to compare that, but here's the thing. All of that is fixable. None of the things is the players aren't going to be there. They will get it fixed. You just got to give them. We're 5 weeks in the season, and we're acting like it's over.
And they play tomorrow night. It's a long way from over. They have the Giants tomorrow night to kick off Week 6. Coming up, are we seeing cracks in one of my coworkers? This one's called What Say Lou. Louis Riddick.
Yes, sir.
If I said Mac Jones should remain the 49ers starter, what say Lou?
He should, as long as Brock Purdy isn't 100% healthy. You see how Mac is playing in this offense. You see why there was a lot of talk about Kyle Shanahan really liking Mac Jones when he came out in the draft. He is playing the way the position needs to be played within that offense. Look, it's Brock's team. Brock just got the new contract. He will assume the starting role when he comes back. But Mac right now is making a lot of people sit there and go, maybe he wasn't as bad as I thought he was. This guy can play.
He's going to make himself a lot of money.
No question.
How about if I said Travis Hunter should be a full-time wide receiver? What say Lou?
I say Travis Hunter should be a full-time mercenary, meaning whatever side of the ball they need him on that week, put him on. However you want to divvy up the reps in order to help them win football games, that's why they drafted him. Yeah. They drafted him because he has two-position versatility. If they need him to catch passes, do that. If they need him to shadow a number one, do that. If they need him to return punts, whatever it is, just use him to help them win football games. Jacksonville's got it going on right now.
Statement win on Monday night.
No doubt.
Finally, if I said Saquon Barkley is going to run for under 1,000 yards this year, which is the pace he's on, what say Lou?
Yeah, he definitely will. You keep giving him 6 totes a game. I mean, you'll run for about 600 yards, 700 yards. Look, I think there's a lot of things going on in Philadelphia, none of them which I believe has to do anything with Saquon's decline in skills or diminishing skills. The offensive line is different. The play caller is different. Every team is different. They are not the same offensive line up front as far as configuration. Yeah. He'll be fine, but I think we need to temper expectations for sure.
Well, so let's go into this thing here, okay? Speaking of Saquon, he and A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts had a closed-door meeting at the beginning of this short week. Remember, they play tomorrow. Saquon and Hurts talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, we had a conversation, but I'm not going to speak too much on it. I feel like that conversation is meant to stay between us, but focus was all about the team, and I think it was a good thing.
In the kingdom, has the rest of the league caught up to the Chiefs?
They feel like they have more options now if Browning were to continue to struggle. And on the flip side with the Browns, they feel pretty good about the development of their rookies. Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, at this point, this would indicate that Shedeur Sanders likely ascends to the number 2 spot behind Dylan Gabriel. And that eventually at some point this season, whether it's because Gabriel struggles or whether they just want to know what they have, they probably do get a look at Shedeur Sanders. Browns could bring in another veteran. They have Bailey Zappi on the practice squad, but it looks like they're going forward with the 2 rookies from this point.
Yeah, you can imagine. They didn't think Joe Flacco was going to be their guy for the future. So getting Dylan Gabriel and possibly Shedeur Sanders out there would be great for them. All right, Dan, thank you.
Remember when the Browns had like 12 quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Now they have 2. Speaking of 2, number 2 in the starting 5, Jags improved to 4-1 after overcoming a 14-point deficit to beat the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. And the crazy game winner, when Trevor Lawrence was running like he was on ice, somehow got up and got the win. Kansas City falls to 2-3, and afterwards, needless to say, the Jags were fired up.
All 3 phases made a huge impact in that ball game. All 3 phases. Guys, not much we do is truly the most pretty thing in the world. But guess what, man? Guess what? Guess what? Winning feels good. So proud to be your coach. Great job. Trevor Lawrence, get us a break.
Let's just keep it rolling. Get healthy. Love y'all, boys.